The two things that still seem to have considerable value are sports and news programming.
Well, I think, in your new role as senior advisor at Versant, and some of the networks that are part of this new organization, and when is it going to be sort of officially sort of broken off? What's the timetable around that?
Believe early January.
And do you believe that they'll look to even bring more live sports onto that side of the house?
Well, already, um, as you well know, in the linear cable world, the two things that still seem to have considerable value are sports and news programming. The live elements of those still drive audience and drive advertiser appeal. Um, Versant as a whole, when you take into account what is now called USA Sports, the sports pieces of Versant, which include Golf Channel and various sports from USA Network, including Olympics that will still be carried from the NBC contract. About 65% of the total programming is news and sports. That's a very substantial amount. I think that compares to what the Discovery spinoff of Warner, which will be their linear, if it ends up being spun off, we'll see. They're about 20% of their programming is sports and news. So that is very much a focus of Versant going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that we certainly talk a lot about here at 76 Capital, and have been we're so excited to see last year the results of, say, what happened with Netflix on Christmas, and the amount of viewers. I think it was 20 plus million viewers twice, to watch the two NFL games. It was really great to see them come into the world of sports. What's your view on what's happening now with, so almost like the pressure between all the networks, the sort of the traditional networks versus the big tech players that are now coming in, and that are media players as well, and now are broadcasting sports, and are literally just going head to head with the traditional networks.
No doubt about it. We're seeing Netflix and Amazon in particular, Apple to a certain extent, Google, YouTube, of course, as well. Netflix really focusing on more special event type programming, as you mentioned, Christmas Day football being a good example of that. Amazon certainly having had experience with Thursday night football, expanding more into a broader schedule, and audiences seem to have found it now in the streaming services, and it looks like that programming can thrive. One factor that I think we're going to be facing very soon is it sounds like the NFL has obviously a negotiation coming up with Paramount because of the change of control and CBS having the football rights there owned by Paramount. And that certainly creates a renegotiation where the NFL should probably increase substantially what it is getting out of that particular party. But there's also talk that with the break point that the NFL has in the existing contracts after the 29-30 season, that it may well look to accelerate that in some kind of quid pro quo with the existing players. Looking at the NBA contract and how well the NBA did in their media negotiations, and the NFL thinking that given how much more audience they draw, they left a lot of money on the table. I think the consequences of that for the entire media ecosystem is that much more money being coming out of programming budgets for both tech and non-tech players alike that will leave less money on the table for other potential sports rights, particularly lesser sports, not to mention, as I said before, entertainment programming. So there's not an infinite amount of money that any of these companies have for purposes of program investment. NFL is certainly considered unique to the extent it is drawing more money out of the ecosystem. That's clearly going to have impact on other forms of programming.